Dinobots? Dinobots. How do we feel about Dinobots? Well, this box used to contain a Dinobot that somehow didn't even make it into the movie. Studio series Snarl. Yeah, I don't know. Somehow he was just completely absent. Anyway, here's a figure of him. Even though nature made the Stegosaurus first, Hasbro was like, nah, we're doing Grimlock first. Snarl, near the end. Here's his Stego mode. I think it looks good for a robotic Stegosaurus. I think it has Stegosaurus-esque traits. The whole rows of back spikes, used as a defense area, used as a defense mechanism. His tiny head, tiny. I don't know if it's bigger or smaller than some of his teammates. His tail, which I wish moved. It does, but it doesn't move up and down. And I feel like this guy has the most gold paint of all of them so far, but like, unfortunately, he needed more. Because I wanted the head to be gold, the front legs to be gold, his rear feet. Instead, they're this caramelly color. It's fine. It's just all the rows of spikes are so nicely painted. Just kind of wish it got everywhere because none of his teammates are missing any gold paint. Speaking of his teammates, let's do massive size comparisons. Here's Sludge. Slug. Sly Slug. And of course, big old G himself, Grimlock. So here's all four current Dinobots next to each other. There's Carlos for scale. We need Dinobot power, now! How is it Hasbro has not done a crossover between Power Rangers and Transformers using the Dinobots? Why was that only left to a knockoff company? Bye, Carlos. Swing. He's the first Dinobot to come with a sword. Unfortunately, no gun. So, short range or long range, you can't get both. Hilariously, you can plug it under his neck for a storage mode, if it'll stay on. Plug it in. There you go. Or flip it around for an offensive mode. Stegosaurus with a sword. Although he'd have to be going forward and stabbing. Still. Stegosaurus with a sword. Sounds like an awesome band name. And you can plug it up top as if it were a gun for a sword turret. Or use the handle, and I guess you could attach Cosmos's flag if he wanted to wave a white flag, or if he just wanted to do a spin attack, like he's Sonic the Hedge Stegosaurus. Go. There's fun to be had with this sword. Although, you can see the plastic it's molded in. It's also slightly flexible, and I feel like it's missing, the rest of a sword. It feels like you took the blade and were like, yep, that's enough of a sword. No pommel. That's barely a handle. I question the effectiveness of a secondary handle there, but a fictional sword, who's to say it wouldn't provide some benefit. This is a beast mode with some articulation. So his mouth opens that wide. Ah! His mouth is also segmented due to the transformation. So he has more in common with his lizard's, not ancestors, but ones that came after. I don't know the technical term for that. He can't really move his head unless you unpeg the top of him, and then he can tuck himself away. He's going, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't want to do that. Nope. Yeah, there you go. The front arms, or the front legs, would they be the arms? Probably not. Are on ball joints, which give that much range of outward motion. I have to hold him by his tail. They do give a full rotation, though. Tiny bit of that motion, Z-axis. And he's got a joint to tuck in, mostly for robot mode. The rear legs, the hind legs, beautiful ratchets. Joint here, and a hinge here. And if you want to, a hinge there, which I'm not sure. And kind of a hinge out, but that's more for robot mode. He can't really do that pose. He is not very posable. He's kind of just about what you expect from a Stegosaurus. Really. And I just want to give you a shot of all the molded in detail, the circuitry and wiring, rivets and things, just random unnecessary extra detail that the Dinobots have. All the way to the tail. Give you even the underside, which is a very clean underside. You only see a tiny bit of robo thigh. It's not very obvious how it turns into a robot. And that's actually my favorite thing about it, is actually going backwards to Stegosaurus mode. I couldn't figure it out right away. I had to actually look at the instructions to figure out what was going where. And then it was like, oh, that makes sense, but I didn't see that. More clever than you expect. I also have to transform his teammates. So we'll do that first, because that's always fun. Dinopot Max it. No, no. Henshin. That's not right either. Transform! So we can start by holding up the feet and using the world's worst part separator. Split that section right there. You want to open them up, and that's going to get the legs ready. You can come up here, open this, and pull it back that far for now. Also make sure these panels are not tabbed into the feet anymore, because you need enough room to slide them out like that. And then you open these panels. I want to fold the head up, split the legs open, and we're going to want to rotate them around. A little bit of clearance, but a bit of clearance never hurt anybody. Yeah, there we go. All the way down. Now you can fold the beast mode head into the cavity and tab these in place like that. Not quite done with the legs yet. We're gonna fold the foot in and then rotate it to make sure it's tabbed in right in here. And then you're gonna fold this bit in and you've got one shin all done. The same thing. Bring it out. Rotate it down. There you go. Fold the foot. Then we can rotate the waist and collapse. Now we're done with the legs. We're going to deal with the arms. Make sure the hinge is there. And open like that and tab this bit in. Make sure it locks in place. Going the other way, or which way, there's a bit of flexing on the plastic on this ring, which I hope won't suffer any damage over the years. And you want to take this section right here, this black bit, flip out its fist, rotate the fist, rotate the beast mode foot. It's going to tab in right there, and that section is going to lock in there, and now you have an arm done. Come to the other one. You don't have to do it from there. You can do it wherever. Just line up the shoulder so it rotates at a proper degree. Push that back. Rotate. Tab. Lock. Got two shoulders done. Now we don't have to puff that out. We're going to bifurcate the tail. And instead of locking there, it's going to lock there. And we'll take this bit. At the same time, flip out his head from the cavity and tab that in place. And there you go. Very nice transformation. Going the other way, I couldn't figure out how the legs worked. It was very interesting having to read the instructions to figure that out. And hilariously, his spine is an accessory in the package. Nice. Now, I'm not married, never been in a relationship, but I wonder if that's how married guys feel when they have to ask their wives, "Can I have my spine, please?" Which way does it? Yeah, there you go. One spine. It does cover up a little bit of back detail. I also first got him out of the package. I thought it went in like that. I was like, how does that? It doesn't make sense. And then, of course, I had to read instructions. And oh, that makes more sense the other way around. So, here is Snarl in his robot mode. Also, these bits right out of the package were really stuck in there. Like, I thought I would have to break them, and that kept popping out instead of what's supposed to come out, the joint itself. That might be a thing on everyone. I don't know. If you can't get it out, Don't worry, you're not going to break it. Just enough force, and you'll eventually be able to get it out. Yeah, he's up there for one of my favorites of this line. Like everything's solid, nothing's loose. He's very little kibble. I feel like him and Grimlock are like maybe not 1 and 2, but like 1A and 1B possibly. That is until Swoop comes out. But, personality wise, he's probably got my favorite personality because, well, he just hates the body he's in. That's his whole personality is, why must I be cursed with this body? It's like, dude, you're a Dinobot. Like, I don't know why body dysmorphia is a real thing. You got a body and a waist supermodels would kill for, and some have probably died for. Like, he's got pec joints. He can literally flex his pecs. Like, come on, dude. Why are you so depressed? And his face kind of is not quite a snarl, but I can kind of see the self-loathing there. I like the triple horned crown on him. The targeting reticle in his stomach. Very clean. Very, very nice. Size comparison. Here he is with Grimlock. Sludge. Slug. I was going to make the joke again, but Slug. Here they all look together in their robot modes. I have to hold him, because otherwise, whee! Somehow they take up more space in robot mode than beast mode. They are all tall boys, though. Go over his ball-jointed neck, which has a nice range. Outward on the shoulders. Very nice motion, very nice look to it. Got that ratcheting. You kind of have to play with it a bit to go full 360. Bicep swivel. The elbow joint, very floaty. Unfortunately, nothing you can do about that. The wrist swivel is good. Waist swivel, and obviously that doesn't add any joints, but it's just funny. Hips. Very nicely ratcheted. Outward. It might just be me, but it looks like he has the smallest thighs of all of the Dinobots. Definitely the smoothest thighs. They do swivel as well. Very nice. The knee. Very nice ratcheting. The toe can toe. And I want you to look how big his foot is and look how much sheer mass is moving on that ankle pivot. And that hinge. Like, that is a lot. It's a whole slice moving. Sword. Obviously you can plug it in his hand. Didn't think about it in the beast mode, but you can plug it in his shoulder, or a different attack mode for Stegosaurus. Nicely convenient. Stashing on the back. Doesn't get in the way. Come on. There are ports in his feet. Turn his sword into skis. Then at that point, you need a second one. Whee! It is winter here. Hold it in his hand like it's a gun. Not really, because the peg handle's long. Yeah, let's give him a proper sword. And he does look proper dynamic, especially with the wrist swivel. Gives him a nice extra layer of posing. Unfortunately, he doesn't have the... can he do? You kind of have to futz with things, but... Can he do it? Yep, he can point his sword forward. That's good. Although he's breaking his wrist. He can do it. There we go. So, yeah. He is very good. He is definitely up in my top 2 Dinobots so far. It's just everything works. Nothing's loose. The transformation was fun figuring out. Flex them abs. Flex them pecs. So we do know a swoop is on the way. I like that the beast legs, when they fold away, they reveal new detailing. But one question I have is, why did they paint the sides of the stego head silver? Like, they molded in the detail to match what's in the rest of his shin, but like, that looks horrifying. Just thinking about like 2 halves of a head stuck in each of his shins, like, that's kind of horrifying. I don't want to think about it too hard, but like, we know a swoop potentially is on the way. We've seen product listings for him. So part of my hope for swoop, because he's less engineering and a smaller toy, is that they leave him at the leader price point, but give us his missiles, his gun, a sword for each of the other 3 Dinobots, and a gun for this guy to just round out the Dinobot package. I think that's probably the best way you could do swoop, because he's not super engineering heavy, especially not compared to these guys. Like, it's much more simple a toy. So if they don't do that with the retail release, they might do that with the Gen Selects toy accurate chest or any other version of swoop. But we definitely need the rest of the weapons for the Dinobots. They kind of look incomplete with just one weapon each. And overall, I recommend Snarl. He's quite good. If you don't buy him, he might snarl at you. That's the lamest joke I could think of. Keep it weird. Bye.